We want to thank our outstanding sponsor, Touring & Cruises Travel. It's the same team as Touring Plans Travel, but with a new name. Their travel advisors will take care of your Disney or other travel destination needs. Make sure you tell them Rope Drop Radio sent you. Now, on to the show.
Helping you navigate the Disney parks.
With the hope that it will be a source of joy and inspiration to all the world.
You're listening to Rope Drop Radio.
Welcome to another Rope Drop Radio. This is Doug, not Derek, obviously. That's a hiccup to start the show. Derek not feeling well in the ER, but the show goes on because I have a guest. And that guest is going to fill in as my co-host today. And so I'm just going to read right off the top the guest introduction. Our guest today was our very first guest on Rope Drop Radio that we were not related to, and has been on several times over the last 8 years. This person has been with the Walt Disney Company for 12 years. He has been found all over the Vacation Kingdom in the following roles: recreation, quick service, food and beverage, attractions, custodial, and finally entertainment as a cast member. So he has seen Walt Disney World from a lot of angles. On August 29th of 2022, our guest became the recipient of the Walt Disney Legacy Award. Please welcome the man of many voices, Mr. Ryan Wiley, to Rope Drop Radio.
Hey, it's good to be back on the show. Doug, how are you? And thank you so much for having me. And my condolences to Derek. I hope he gets better.
Yeah, so this is the first ever show, 430 episodes. Derek has never missed. I have missed many a times.
Yeah.
Where I travel, I'm just like, dude, just fill in. I don't worry. But Derek he's a trooper, so we're thinking about him. Hopefully everything's okay. I'll keep you updated on Derek's condition. I blame tackle football coaching for this and the stress it causes. So there you go. That's our welcome for today. But today we're going to talk about low-key tips in the Magic Kingdom. And the awesome thing is our guest, Ryan, has spent a lot of time in the Magic Kingdom. So that will work out really well. So first up, Springtime Surprise Rope Drop Trip, April 3rd through the 6th. Registration's coming up for the Springtime Surprise. I'm going to be attempting to register, as are other people I know. And if you book with Touring & Cruises, I will hook you up with a Rope Drop Radio Running Club shirt that has not been designed or made yet. But if you book through Touring & Cruises, that will be the special perk. So contact Touring & Cruises for your booking needs for the Springtime Surprise. And slowly jog walk with Doug. And Derek will hopefully be there having a good time. He did just text me to say no surgery needed. So I'm going to take that as a good sign. All right.
There you go.
He'll probably be home in the next 5 minutes and jump on. Right. So, I'm gonna, just a little pain, went to the ER, but I'm going to get on Rope Drop. Anyway, let's thank our patrons. So Derek normally thanks the patrons, but it's my honor to do it this week. And so no new patrons this week. Lots of great stuff over there. We have after shows, bonus audio, Zoom calls. So go check it out if you want a little more Rope Drop. Today we recorded the after show before the show, so it's really a pre-show. Ryan was on there. Ryan, you talked all about your whole Disney career, didn't you?
Yeah. It was great to kind of relive those memories and moments. So it was great.
It's pretty cool. It's you get to hear his whole progression everywhere he's been, which will add more depth of knowledge value to everything he says here. So also, great way to support the show. Leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcast. So I'm going to read a couple of them. All right. Here we go. Freaky Friday, 5 stars by I Need 6 Eggs. Yeah, I can't make that up. All right. Really enjoy your podcast as I prepare for a family trip in last May. I had to share, though, that I started listening and looked up you guys on Instagram. I totally had your voices switched and didn't realize it until Derek added stories from his current Disney trip. It really messes with your head. Anyway, big fan and can't wait to use all the info I've learned, including how to be a galactic hero. So there you go. Yeah. That's a quality one. Yes, we get people flip us around all the time. I mean, we don't do a good enough job saying, hi, Derek. because we've been doing it a long time and we're not professionals. But yeah, it's easy to do, and it's pretty funny when it happens. So, all right, next review. One of my favorite podcasts, 5 stars, by Magical Podcast. I look forward to listening to this podcast every Friday morning on my way to work. These guys are fun to listen to and give me a little taste of the magic when I'm oh so far away from Walt Disney World. I love their humor and honest reviews and tips. So there you go. There are our 2 reviews for the day. Those are quality. I hope Mr. Eggs becomes a galactic hero.
Gaston would love
Right?
that
Yeah.
that
Solid. Yeah.
username.
And no one was, I mean, I don't think they were trying to mess with my pronunciation. It's pretty straightforward. So, all right. Today we're going to talk about low-key tips to help your day in the Magic Kingdom become even more magical. But before we get to that, Ryan, I just want to say you've been on more than just these episodes, but these are the easy ones to find because I'm lazy. You can be found on episode 37, 130, and 215. I highly recommend, if you haven't, go back, check out 37, 130, and 215. We talk about voiceover work, lots of different Disney voices. It's pretty fun stuff. But here, I want to hear more about and what is the Walt Disney Legacy Award, because it sounds fancy.
First off, it's a cast nominated award. Less than 1% in the company ever received the honor. Before the Walt Disney Legacy Award, it was Partners in Excellence. So it's kind of the same thing where your cast would nominate you. That's why if you see some of the name tags that actually have a partner statue, so that when we say partners, that's Walt and Mickey, both hand in hand, if you will, partners, right? But it's on the side of their name tag as a recognition pin. And then Legacy evolved from that. So Legacy now is the blue name tag, and it is considered one of the highest prestigious honor in the Walt Disney Company. It's been around for quite some time, and on August 29th, actually 2 weeks before I received my legacy, my wife received her legacy.
Wow.
And to be fair, that never happens at all. And she, working in guest relations at Magic Kingdom, I got to be there for her legacy. And I remember she was there for mine and surprised me. And it's really great when they're reading what people wrote about the individual, but you don't know who nominated you. You don't know who wrote all the things about you. And then there's a plaque, a huge plaque with Walt's picture on it, and it has Walt Disney and your name, and it's in a nice, beautiful frame. So we both have that hanging in our house. Our blue name tag, so it's a Sorcerer Mickey pin. It's a silver pin with a beautiful diamond in the middle of it.
Nice.
And so it's a wonderful, humbling honor to be able to know that I made an impact on people's lives in a positive way. And people say that they were inspired by my leadership or by the way I would be able to help a guest or a cast in any way I can. I'm on my name tag, it says dream, create, and inspire. So those 3 things is what's kind of Walt had. And so it's kind of like now I have Walt's vision, Walt's mindset. So everywhere I go, if I see trash, I still pick it up. If I go over and I approach the guest, instead of the guest coming to me, I go to the guest and I say, hey folks, how can I help you today? How can I assist you? Right? Because that's how you can make a difference in someone's day, is just by going up and saying hello and maybe breaking the ice on commenting on, hey, I like your Star Wars shirt. Are you planning on going to a park today? And then that can open up so many doors and stories. Well, oh gosh, I remember when I used to work over here, it was really great getting to see Chewbacca or something like that. So it's a really great moment. But the Legacy Award, it was again a very teary, wonderful, happy, joy
Mhm.
moment. And I was speechless in the first time in my life because I'm a talker and I love to talk. But receiving that honor was very humbling and wonderful. And then they put on a legacy ceremony at actually the Contemporary Resort is where we had ours, and they had characters and food. The Walt statue that's actually in um, Epcot. We got to take a
Mhm.
little sneak peek picture
Oh,
of
cool.
that and got to see that. And Mickey and Minnie and the gang were all in their formal attire, suit and tie, gold dresses, and uh, you know, Goofy had on a top hat. And there were a lot of cool characters that we saw during the show that they put on a show for us. I got to see Dumbo for the very first time on stage interacting.
Oh,
That was really cool.
interesting.
Um, I got to see, like I said, some really cool rare characters. But then also, like I said, the food and everything was great and wonderful. But you're sitting there next to people that have also received it. And at Magic Kingdom during the year 2022, only 52 cast members received it. That's from any line of business
Mm.
in the Magic Kingdom park. But that doesn't mean it stops there. It also is anybody at the resorts, Disney Springs, any of the other theme parks, ESPN Wild World of Sports, right?
Yeah.
Those areas around their property, from Imagineering, and then other areas around the world. So again, to sum it all up, I'm really humbled and honored. Sometimes I do get choked up talking about it, just because it's never in a million years that I ever think I would ever receive it. And just now, I feel like Walt's always with me, and so sometimes there are moments where, um, when I put the name tag on, it's like Walt's with me. So.
So do you get to wear the special name tag in the parks, or is that more for the wall at home?
No, no, no. So, yeah, we get to wear it out in the park, so our
Okay.
guests can, or cast can uh, see that, and some guests do know what
Mm-hmm.
that blue name tag is. So, a lot of times, some guests will come up and say congratulations. Other times, guests don't know what it is and they ask you, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it's tough to talk about yourself in some
Yeah.
cases. So sometimes other cast members will step in and say, oh well, they'll say something wonderful in my honor, or maybe another cast member who has received it. um, but yeah, so it's a cool honor, and humbled to wear it.
Well, I can say from my family's interactions with you in the parks while you're in your role, it's not shocking at all that people would have great things to say about you and nominate you. Um, Fantastic. Congratulations. And
Thank
now
you.
all our rope drop listeners know you see that blue name tag. That go congratulate those folks. Let them know that it also shows that you're one of the more knowledgeable theme park guests. And yeah, so definitely give them a shout out because yeah, that's an awesome honor. So this is a hard transition from such a nice, deep, meaningful thing to where we're going to talk about tips for the Magic Kingdom, but not the
Yeah.
good tips like rope drop or double rope drop or reverse rope drop or like free ice water or
Right.
free
Right.
icing on your Gaston cinnamon roll. Always ask for the extra icing. Tell them Rope Drop Radio will pay for it. It's free. That's why we'll pay for it. Those are the big tips, right? Like
Yeah.
avoid dining at noon at a counter service. Big tips. We're looking for the low key, the subtle tips that can help your day be that much more magical. And who better to have give these tips than a magic maker themselves? So we're gonna go back and forth, share about 5 or so, and then we're gonna do the lightning round because you haven't done it since episode 37, and my
Yeah.
gosh,
Yeah.
something has to have changed.
It
Yeah,
totally has.
that's
I promise you that.
all right. So here we go, Ryan. What's your first tip?
It has to do with the parade over at Magic Kingdom, and when you're watching the Festival of Fantasy Parade, a lot of guests will line up around the Main Street USA, maybe around Town Square Theater, right in that Castle Hub.
Uh-huh.
But a really good place to watch it, also under cover and shade, is the Country Bear Jamboree. So right around in that area of Frontierland, that's where Parade steps off.
Hmm.
And that's where you're going to catch a lot of the entire parade there. It's a lot of great open space. It usually doesn't get kind of filled up until about halfway into the parade. So as long as you get there about 15 minutes, 20 minutes early, that's a great kind of low key tip. I hope that's a great
Oh
starting
yeah.
point,
That's
Doug.
a fantastic
Right.
one.
Okay,
That
great.
one I debated, but I was like, no, one of the other guys will have it. Well, and then we lost one of the guys.
Right.
So that's a fantastic. That's usually where we watch it. But we don't get the Magic King. The castle's not in the background. It's okay. You don't need a castle in the background of your pictures.
It's like, what are you more interested in? Characters or, oh, I have to get this perfect picture lined up where there's the character and there's the
Yeah.
castle. And
The,
sometimes in the moment, the characters are moving so fast that, yeah.
Yeah, that's a perfect example of, are you there for the Instagram shot, or are you there to experience, or your family to experience? If you're there for
Right.
the your family to experience, watch by Country Bears over there, that area in Frontierland.
Right.
If you're there only to get your Instagram pictures, then you're gonna have to spend 45 minutes waiting on the hub to get the right shot, right? And
Right. Right.
that's no fun in Florida heat. Ugh, good
Oh.
gravy, no. All right, all right. So I'll give mine. Feel free to comment back.
Yeah,
Like
you
I
got it.
just, yeah, harass
Absolutely.
me if necessary if it's not a good tip. So my first tip involves food because I love it, and so the confectionery at the front of the park, it's a magical place. All these great desserts, caramel apples, marshmallow wands. It's not a trip to Disney World with a young child if they don't get a marshmallow wand and half of it gets on them. You haven't been. So the confectionery is great, but it gets busy. Let's be honest. And it's right there. Everybody knows about the confectionery.
Mhm.
Well, there's another one. There's another case of magical goodies
Do tell.
buried, buried back in Storybook Circus. And the Big Top Treats, I think is what it's
Mm.
called, souvenirs and
Mhm.
treats, or maybe. It has all the same stuff, basically.
Are you
Not
talking about the giant tent? The
Yeah,
giant
the
tent event?
giant
It's called
tent.
Big Top Souvenirs.
Souvenirs. Okay. Yeah, right across from Dumbo. It does not have all of the snacks that the confectionery has, but it has the confectionery counter, so you can get your chocolate covered pineapple spear. You can get your marshmallow wands. You can get your really big dried out cookies. You can get cupcakes and your caramel apples all day long. We love getting a snack there and then chilling in the yellow tent right next door.
Right.
Just it's a great way to chill in the middle of the day.
I love that.
I,
It's great. I was actually gonna now I thought of my fifth one now.
oh,
It's
good.
actually I'm gonna transition
Okay.
into food again.
All right. Perfect. You take it away, Ryan.
Um, so I think for me, uh, when I think of food and I think of like where can I get this and where can I get that, um, a really good place is the little a lot of people wait in line for our quick service food and beverage locations. So
Mm-hmm.
Pinocchio's Village House, um, Columbia Harbor House, Cosmic Rays. But if you're looking for a really good snack, the cart that's right outside of Adventureland has some really good egg rolls. And
Your
they're
your your team
really,
spring rolls, huh?
yes, yes, they are delicious. So I always say that if you're looking for a really good snack, it is a hot commodity. Don't get me
Mm-hmm.
wrong. It's
Oh
it's
yeah,
got
that
always a
line can.
line, but I would recommend going maybe and getting that maybe before like fireworks, because
Mm-hmm.
then you could. It's right there near the castle hub if you wanted to get something there close by. Just double check your hours on the app
That's
or
true.
ask the cast member there, because they might not be open that long. Uh, just because sometimes nighttime things start to close and things start to open back up. But always ask the cast members. So that's my kind of third low key tip is
Yeah.
ask a cast member. They can help you.
Oh
And
man,
don't be
two for
afraid to
one.
ask.
Don't be afraid to ask. That's a fantastic low key tip. Don't be afraid to ask the cast member. So it's a good thing Derek's not here because he'd be fighting you tooth and nail on the spring rolls egg roll thing. Just not worth it to him. He stood in line. I think it was like 1,000 degrees when he did it though, right? So like you got to pick your battles with the weather in Florida.
Right.
In the summertime, I tend to do other things. Oh, no, new text from Derek. Let me rephrase. No surgery needed right now. I see the surgeon on Tuesday. So
God.
okay, live
Oh,
updates.
yes.
Not a HIPAA violation at all, folks. Anyway, so oh yes, have Derek in your thoughts. We it's gonna be dicey. Andy's coaching football. Oh dear.
Oof.
Yeah. So I'll be Derek right now. The spring rolls are terrible. Why would you ever get those? um, I'm not a huge fan myself, but I know people are, and to each their own because there's certain things
Yeah.
I love too that other people don't. Let's just finish up the food. I'm going to use my food tip. Um, go upstairs. I say this a lot. Low key tip: Columbia Harbor House. Go right when it opens. Rope drop it with your mobile order. Grab your food. Go upstairs. Tons of window seats. It's so much quieter. It, yes, the window seats are cool because you can people watch, especially you go over the walkway, like watch people walk under you. You can wave. It's fun. The kids love it. I like it because it's quiet up there. It is the one place in the Magic Kingdom, other than the Hall of Presidents, where you can really escape the hustle and the bustle
Right.
entirely. I feel like Hall of Presidents, you definitely can. The Carousel of Progress, sometimes you get really rowdy people in there with you that don't understand to sit down, and they stand up and they stop the show and they try to leave it. Anyway, that's a whole nother show entirely there, Carousel of Progress. But I feel like upstairs Columbia Harbor House, right when it opens, or like 3 o'clock in the afternoon,
Oh, yeah.
fantastic. Sometimes your eating schedule gets so weird at Disney World when you're vacationing.
Absolutely.
Like 3 o'clock dinner, that's a normal thing. And then you have a dessert party at 6:50 or whatever, right? That's how people eat. Time zones change too, depending on where you're coming from, right? Um, so rope drop the
That's a great one. I
yeah.
love
So
that.
eat upstairs. It's great. And the condiments all upstairs. So you don't have to
All
like
upstairs. Yep.
you don't need to grab all the silverware and stuff and like carry them up.
It's
No,
all
you
there.
just send your kids up, get the table, they can wave out the window, you bring the food up. It's wonderful. One of my favorite things. We did it when they were little, we do it now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I'm totally going to remember that
it's a
with
good one.
Harper. Yeah. Totally going to
Yeah,
remember
it's
that.
just quiet. It's nice.
Yeah.
Kind of like upstairs at Pizza Rizzo's, a little more
Yeah.
relaxed. I
Okay.
can't go a show without mentioning Pizza Rizzo's, so
Right.
I gotta
I love
gotta
that.
plug the one of the more questionable restaurants on property. Anywho, Ryan, what's next for you?
So it actually has to do with entertainment. And if you were
Perfect.
in line to see a character,
Okay, this is
and
what we
let's
came
say
for.
let's say it again.
This is what we came for. These tips.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So let's say you're in line to see a character, and there's going to be two scenarios. One, let's say that the character is going to be leaving in like 5 minutes to go. Let's say it's Goofy, and Goofy's going to go check on Max. I know he has a big road trip planned
Yeah.
for they're on the open road trip, and they're going to go to a Powerline concert. So there's going to be times where the characters are going to have to step away to check in on Max, or Stitch is going to be learning that new Elvis record, right? So that way, then at the next luau session with Lilo, he can perform. When the attendant is spieling, they're asking everyone to please remain in line. That way, then you can have your autograph books ready to go, phones and cameras ready. That way, you're prepared for when the character comes back. Then you're ready to go to meet that character. if you're in line and the line is already closed for the end of the day, meaning that the character is no longer going to be making any appearances and everyone that's in line is going to be seeing the character, um, always know that the cast will always try to offer alternatives of other locations for you to visit. But if you see the character leave line, but you know the character's coming back, but you decide to leave line, the cast cannot reopen the line because they've already turned away guests. So just know to please stay in line because that helps the cast in knowing how many guests the character should be able to meet and see. And we want everybody to be able to have the
Yeah.
opportunity. But if the line is closed, the cast will always will offer an alternative of other characters that are still operating and opening at the times that you are
Okay.
maybe later in the day, maybe you're over at like I said at with Winnie the Pooh and Tigger, and that line gets really long. But they when they do close the line for the end of the night, they might say, "Hey, why don't you go over to Princess Fairy Tale Hall?" Or, "Oh, I see you have." Someone maybe it was around the guest lunch schedule, and maybe they recommend Captain Jack Sparrow in Adventureland. So you always want to take those tips of the cast
Nice.
wanting to help.
That's a good one. So have your stuff ready to meet. That's I wish people were more prepared with their autograph books. I'm not gonna lie, that's bane of everyone's existence. We're not autograph people, so I just curse them silently in my head. But you do your autographs. I'm not judging. I'm just judging in my head. So be ready. Don't leave the line if it's already closed because you're not getting back in. Right. Okay. And then if they give you tips, take them. Take the tips. All right.
Absolutely.
I like it.
Absolutely.
That was like a 3 for Ryan.
Sorry.
No, that's
Gonna
perfect.
still have one more.
That's fantastic. All right. So I have one of the train station on Main Street, right? It's not just for getting on a train. Although that's fun and all, although we didn't get to do it for like a decade and a half while they were building Tron with the one guy and the hammer. But the train, whether it's operated or not, you can go up there and just people watch. Like go up there, look down Main Street USA, and just take it in. Take a minute to look at the splendor before you, especially at Christmas time with the Christmas decorations, the Christmas music. Oh, it's fantastic. Various times there'll be characters up there waving at you. They do character meets up there for the parties, right? Are there characters up there that like on a regular basis now, or we're done with that?
The answer
Putting
is
you on the spot.
no. They don't really do that a lot anymore. But if they did, um, they used to do, and they probably don't do it, or if they do, it's more of a surprise and delight. But sometimes
Okay.
Mickey will be waving at the end of the night to the guests
Yeah.
as they're leaving and stuff. But again, I'm not really sure. I've been away from the kingdom far too long. I've been away, so things may change.
Yes.
I'm not
Listen
sure.
to the after show to find out where he's at now. Aha. Plug for Patreon. Look at that. So our best meet we ever did up there, we were leaving a Halloween party. It was after midnight. Party over. The Tremaines were still up there,
Oh
kind of
yeah.
waving goodbye to everybody, right? They were meeting. Line got cut off. They had just finished. So they turned around to their pleasantries to the people as they're leaving, like, they're harassing people from the train station. And we were dressed up. Michelle was Cinderella, I was Prince Charming. Yeah, I think, yes, that's correct. And then the girls were Anastasia and Drizella. Did I get
Yep,
the names
that's right.
right? Yeah.
Mhm.
And then Alden was Gus Gus.
I
Alden
love that.
Alden was like this big old 100 degrees probably that day, and just all this padding in his shirt and a tail and a hat. Like he had to be dying of heat, but he did it. And they like are yelling at us to come up there. And so we go up there, we have our own little meet and greet session. It's like 12:15, right? The line was done. So they're done, but they went above and beyond because and the girls got a whole bunch of pictures with them. It was fantastic. So
I love
that really wasn't my tip though. My tip was to just go up there, soak it in, right? The stories just come out sometimes,
that.
especially the characters. It's funny. I don't like I like meeting the characters, but I don't like meeting the picture. I don't need a hug with a character, but I love the interaction and my kids interacting and that sort of stuff, and that's what makes it magic. Anywho, go to the train station, take in the view before after you hop on the train, and you don't even have to get on the train.
Right. Yeah, that's a good tip.
Yeah, yeah. You
Very
don't
good
get
tip.
to the view forward though. You don't get to look out towards Seven Seas Lagoon, just back
Right.
into the park. But it's really cool at Christmas.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah, the lights, everything at night. Just go up there, let it soak in. All right, another one, Ryan.
Speaking of the train station, that's
Ooh,
also a really great opportunity.
ooh,
So it's again a um, one little low key tip, but it has like two little factors in it. So let's
perfect.
say you want to watch the fireworks.
I
Let's
do.
say it's happily ever after, and you are wanting to get up to see all the cool projections on the fireworks
Hmm.
on the Cinderella Castle, right? And you
Yeah.
see the fireworks, the partner statue, Walt and Mickey, where they are in the Castle Hub. That's a great place to stand. Just know that once it's done, you're not going to really be
No,
able to move.
you live there.
However,
Oh,
train station, that's a really great place to watch it from a farther distance. And once the fireworks are done, it's a quick exit right out of the gate.
yeah.
Also, with that, you are missing again. It kind of goes back to that topic of when you're looking at the parade of where you think it is. Like,
Hmm.
what am I there for? The picture shots, or am I there for the experience?
Yeah.
You're going to get a great experience either way. It's just a matter of perspective of what you would like to be able to see those kind of moments that happen a little bit closer up on the castle, but then other times you're going to be able to see a lot more things further back of the fireworks and stuff. So I would recommend if you have any, maybe after the fireworks, maybe the little ones are starting to kind of, go to sleep, or you're just looking for a quick way after the fireworks. That's a great
Yeah.
place to be, because then as soon as it's done, boom, you're out. You're right there close to the resort monorail, the resort buses, the boat that goes from Magic Kingdom to the Ticket and Transportation Center. So it's a lot of great
Yeah.
options there.
One great thing I like talking about Disney World with you. You're a local. You're a cast member. Not many locals understand how you just mentioned you're close to the bus, because those buses can be a thing after fireworks, and getting to those buses quick, ooh, sometimes it's nice. You still see all the fireworks, you miss the projections.
Yeah.
It's okay. You've watched the movies.
They always play the castle firework intro right before every movie, so there's your
Right, same
fireworks, right?
same thing. All right, I got a fireworks tip. This is a fireworks and parade tip. Um, Here's the tip: you don't have to watch them. All right, this they're amazing, but you don't have to. Do you know what you can do instead? Go on rides. The
Yeah.
lines vanish, especially for fireworks. And if they're going to stay open, say an hour after fireworks or 2 hours after fireworks, this really sets you on a path for accomplishing a lot late in
Absolutely.
the evening. It's fantastic in the summer when it's so hot midday. You get back to the park, say like 5 or 6 in the evening. It cools off as you're there. You you don't have to watch the fireworks. Go jump in Space Mountain's line when fireworks start. That's a kind of a big tip. I don't know if that's real low key, but it
No, yeah,
feels low
that's
key.
totally low key.
And parades have a similar effect, not as much, not nearly as much as the fireworks, but the parade does have an impact on that.
Absolutely.
Do you ever do that? Do you find yourself skipping the fireworks, or because you're local, you've been there so many times, like you've done all the attractions so many times, the fireworks are more of a priority, or like waiting for something isn't a big deal?
It depends on what my wife wants to do, because
There's all right. That's a smart answer. It's I
because
don't
if
make the
she's
decisions.
if she's there, it's like, hey, I want to do this, and I say yes, ma'am, and we do it, right? We watch the fireworks, or we go on a ride, but I just listen to her.
Smart. That's what I do too.
I believe.
I just listen to her, and then when I travel with Derek, I kind of just listen to Derek or to Alex, who often travels with us. I don't really make decisions. I was thinking about your wife when the parks reopened. I remember we saw her in the park like every time we went to the Magic Kingdom.
Oh yeah.
Those first few trips, those were
Yeah.
great. Limited park hours, no fireworks, nothing. It was like relaxing going to Disney World. But she was like
Yeah.
on Main Street all the time at
Was
opening.
she in a yellow costume?
I think so,
Okay,
right?
so
Yeah,
she
that
was part of
special.
the Incredicrew, is
There you
what they were
go.
called.
Yeah.
And she was there to help. Number one, make sure that our guest and the cast were being safe with our
Hmm.
policies in place regarding face coverings, and wanting to make sure that everybody was just being safe. Right,
Yeah.
that's the main
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember that. Yeah, it was great. I saw her all the time. We always
Yeah,
chatted on our
yeah.
way down Main Street. It was fantastic. All right. Do you have another tip?
No, 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 no. I'm all done with
We're
mine.
all we're all
My
out of
tips.
tips. So I'm gonna improvise.
Okay.
I have a couple tips that I think Derek would have.
Okay.
I'm just gonna and hopefully he'll comment.
Right.
It'll
All
be
right.
fantastic. I might be way off. Just a couple. So one would be the free icing for the Gaston cinnamon roll. Make sure you ask for that. Say Rope Drop Radio's Pain when you check out.
Right.
They love that, by the way. Here's another tip. They don't care. The cast member doesn't care. They'll mostly be confused. Think you're trying to order like 4 more cinnamon rolls. You never know what you're gonna get. Like, did you say a LaFou's brew? No, I said Rope Drop Radio's Pain. Like, doesn't sorry. Anyway, there's the one tip I'm sure he would give. And then the other tip that he would give is go to Cosmic Rays and watch Sunny Eclipse, which
Good music.
it's
That
good.
alien out of this world.
Yes, it is. I mean, that man's been playing day in, day out for decades.
Yeah.
And the Space Angels, whew, so good you don't even see them. So Derek would 100% say go to Cosmic Rays, watch Sunny Eclipse, eat there. I would 100% say, oh, you're crazy. The food is, but I would say go at Rope Drop. That place is it the busiest counter service on property? Do you
I
know?
feel
Is
like
there a
it
stat
is.
like that? It like has to be, right?
Yeah, yeah. I feel like it is. I feel like it has a lot of guest flow,
Oh,
and there's many entrances to
it's like a
the
maze.
building.
Like
Yeah.
it's a maze that you can't get lost in. You can only get
Correct.
out of, right? It's
Right.
like
Right.
so easy. Come get food, and then and like every 5 years they enclose another section of outdoors to become indoors. So there's that one section that's kind of across from Tomorrowland Speedway that I'm just waiting for the permit to be filed that's going to become indoors at Cosmic Race. Like that's
Right.
next because they need it to be, right? And then the outdoor seating is just going to inch further and further into Tomorrowland. But the Sunny Eclipse seating can't be expanded. Maybe a tier, a balcony for Sunny Eclipse. Um, that would be Derek's
Yeah.
tip right there.
Those are
And
great.
then his other low key tip that he would give is if you don't make it in time for early entry, don't worry, you can rope drop Adventureland.
There you go.
So if you're not quite early enough for the early entry, you're staying on property, you got the backup. You can
That's
rope
right.
drop with the commoners. So I hope I'm right in the spirit of Derek, that
I believe you are.
I've done
I believe
him
you are.
proud. After 8 years, we do know each other pretty well. It'd be
There you go.
hilarious if I'll make him record what tips he thinks I gave, and we can throw that on Patreon or
Oh
something.
yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll get a little bonus audio out of Derek.
There you
Okay.
go.
All right, Ryan. With that, I think it is time for our lightning round
Lightning
multi-pass
round.
edition. All right.
Nice.
This is where you answer with your favorite Disney, Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, whatever you need to under the Disney umbrella. The points are entirely made up and do not matter. All right. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Favorite Disney movie?
A Goofy movie.
Oh,
Second, a close second is Robin Hood.
Yes. Okay. I thought it was Robin Hood. So Goofy is really close to your heart. Um, we've
Yeah.
made it this whole time without any voices. Um, so yeah.
Well, it is a little late, so also my little one is asleep, so I'm going to try not to wake
Don't-
her up. But
There you go.
but Goofy, if you think about it, he's a happy-go-lucky guy. He's
Uh-huh.
very optimistic. He's a great dad. Um, I think if he was here right now, he would probably say "gorge," or something like that, And I think also Goofy. And one of the funniest lines is when he goes, "How many cups of sugar does it take to get to the moon?" 3.5. So that's one of my
All
favorites.
right. Favorite Disney character.
It would be Goofy.
Favorite Disney villain.
Gaston.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Gaston.
It's
Gaston.
complex.
He's a good one. I do also like Dr. Facilier.
Mm-hmm.
Has a lot of mystery
Yeah.
with him. But definitely Gaston for sure.
All right. Excellent. Favorite Disney song.
I really love the I love the when you exit mission space and there's the destiny that song when you exit, that's a really good song. You
Wow,
feel so
that is a
inspired that you did it.
deep
I know
cut.
that's one of your favorite rides.
I can do Mission Space Green.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but that ride is almost like, okay, why'd I do that?
Right.
Yeah, like
But I
that
love theme park
music.
soundtracks and stuff. I think
I love Golden Wings from
Oh
American
yes,
Adventure. It's
yeah,
fantastic.
absolutely.
We did some Disney Toon trivia on a cruise ship, and we
Yeah.
wrote Golden Wings down, and they're like, "No, American Adventure song." We're like, "No." We argued. We gave ourselves the point anyway, but okay. Favorite Disney park.
Magic Kingdom.
All right, that's why we did low key
Yeah,
tips
there
for
you go.
Magic
That's why we
Kingdom
did
right
it.
there. All right, favorite classic attraction.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Nice. Favorite modern attraction.
My wife and I were talking about this, and I like Rise of the Resistance. She likes Flight of Passage over in
That's
at Animal Kingdom in Pandora.
that's my wife and I. So
There you go. I love
yeah,
that. That's great.
that's how we work. And Derek's also Derek's a Flight of Passage guy. Slightly over Rice. So all
Cool
right.
ride. Don't get me wrong. Flight of
Okay.
Passage is great. I love it.
Michelle will argue that is Rise even a ride? It's like 15 seconds of a ride. Like,
No,
oh my
it's more
gosh,
than that.
jeez. It's everything. It's all okay, that's a whole nother show.
Yeah.
All right. Favorite Disney resort.
The Beach Club. That's where my wife and I honeymooned, and we also the pool, the Stormalong Bay. That was really cool. It's like a little lazy river that they have. They had a sand bottom pool. It's a really great resort. It's also Cape May Cafe is really great
Yeah.
for dinner and breakfast. So breakfast has the characters.
Yeah.
Dinner does not. But that's a really great resort.
Yeah, we love Cape May at our household. It might be one of Michelle's favorites. All right. Favorite counter service restaurant.
I'm a big fan of at Hollywood Studios. They have there's a burger there at Rosie's All American Cafe, and it has Texas pedal sauce on it, so it's kind of zangy sauce.
Huh.
And what I do is I get the burger, fries, and a cup of low key tip if that was at studio. But you get Texas pedal sauce to dip the fries of the burger in.
Ooh.
It's really good.
Rosie's. That's over
Rosie.
by Tower of Terror Rock and Roller Coaster.
Yep. And right across the street from Beauty and the Beast live on stage.
Yes.
Right over there.
Yeah.
That's really good.
That's okay. That's a good one. All right. Favorite table service restaurant.
I have two.
Okay.
both in Epcot. One is Teppanyaki in Japan. Big fan of those. I've always loved that. Also, I feel like when I go, it's around my birthday, so I'm always celebrating over there. Le Cellier, though, I love Le Cellier.
Okay.
I love that.
Le Cellier anniversary Teppan for your birthday. Is that what I'm sensing?
That's what we're sensing.
All right. Favorite Disney snack?
It's actually an old-fashioned Mickey pretzel with cheese.
Okay. Yeah, Team
My
Pretzel.
wife
You're on
would
Derek's
say,
team there.
I think she would say, what was it, like a Dole Whip or either a churro? I think one of the two.
Depends on which coast you're on. The churros
True.
are better out west,
Sure,
right?
probably.
Yeah. All right. Favorite Disney drink?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Smart Water. That's
you live in Florida.
I do.
Of course
I do
you
love
are.
the Smart Water. I do actually over in with Le Cellier. They like to pair a lot of the food with like a wine or anything like that. But it's actually a Molson, which is a Canadian drink, and it's really great. But a drink that I would also say that's really good is when I go. Actually, my wife when Lauren goes to the resort and she let's say we're eating in one of the food courts there, like Porterlines and French Quarter, and we're there, and they have the soda machine that has a bunch of different options.
Yeah, the freestyle.
It's mixing like a little bit of Sprite, a little bit of I think it's like cherry, and like there's a lot of different options, but it becomes a really good kind of blended.
Like it doesn't make any sense, but it works out.
Yeah.
I'm a Diet Coke with orange when I see one of
okay,
those,
yeah,
which everybody goes, okay, that's a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Now,
I like it.
My drink that I bring with me a lot is a Diet Mountain Dew. That's what I
solid. Team Diet Mountain Dew, Ryan.
Yeah.
DMD. Gosh, there we are. All right. Last but not least, a Disney bucket list item, like travel or whatever have you.
Is it okay if I list a couple?
Oh yeah, go for it. It's a bucket.
I
you can
love.
fill it.
Yeah, I think it would be great to stay in the castle one day. That would be really cool. To travel over to Disneyland, that would be a bucket list item. I've never done that.
Oh man, you need to hop on a Breeze flight.
Yeah,
to get over there. Breeze is awesome. It's cheap. It's direct.
I've already told my wife. I already told Lauren, right, that I would cry as soon as I got into the gates there. A bucket list item that I've dreamed for that actually I can check off the list is my voice has been in the Magic Kingdom. I don't know if you knew this or not, but I was a voice for the Grand Marshal, which is the voice that you hear before the parade would come down at the Magic Kingdom. And so it was a really wonderful moment to go into a booth and record, and it was a really, really great moment. And then you're hearing your voice, and I would actually, as a cast member, I had the opportunity to listen to it in the park on the bridge, the Liberty Square Bridge. So cast members are the only ones that are kind of around that area there. It's actually right across from the VIP viewing area. That's right there on the Liberty Square Bridge. But I would stand there and listen to it, and I thought, man, thousands upon thousands of people are listening to my voice right now as I get to create a story for this family. One of the families was actually celebrating coming to the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party. And I asked the person who was in charge of selecting this family, I said, what are they celebrating? And they said, they celebrate by taking pictures with the Mickey pumpkins. And so in my spiel, I said, celebrating a long tradition and of taking pictures with the Mickey pumpkins. And the guests cried with tears of joy because they would have thought it was just an announcement. And I always made sure that every time I went into the booth, I added a little bit more of a story with it. I added moments where I wanted to connect with the guest, and I always had the opportunity to sometimes meet the guest afterwards. And I would always say, I was kind of with you on your travels in the Grand Marshal, and you may have heard the voice, and and actually the people would introduce me to the families and stuff, and it was a really cool kind of. I felt like a celebrity in a way
Nice.
there. But that's a bucket list item that I can check off.
Nice.
I think the next bucket list item, voiceover wise, would be to either carry the legacy for a character or to be the voice of an attraction.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Hopefully, D23, they're going to announce a bunch of attractions that your name all over them.
That'd be awesome. That'd be cool.
Right? That'd be fantastic. Next narrator of blah, 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 blah is you.
Fun fact about, really quick, kind of going into some fun facts.
We have a few minutes before Derek would yell at us, but he's not here.
Actually, so fun fact about, because you mentioned, narration and stuff like that. There used to be a fireworks show at Epcot, Illuminations, Reflections of Earth.
Yeah, a good one.
The opening voiceover spiel that you heard was a guy named Jim Cummings.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Jim does the voice of Winnie the Pooh and Tigger, Ray the Firefly, but his voice was the one that you heard at the beginning when all the torches were lit or they would go off. That was him and stuff like that. Something, let's see. I recommend to anyone who's interested in, if you get a chance to watch Beauty and the Beast, the animated Gaston when he's in the tavern. This is one of Bill Farmer's most obscure voices he's ever done. Bill Farmer, the voice of Goofy and Pluto. Bill always talks about whenever he does background voices, his most obscure is in Beauty and the Beast, and it's when Gaston's in the tavern singing with LeFou and the tavern folk and everything, and he's about to deliver the line, when I was a lad, I ate 4 dozen eggs, and he actually takes 3 eggs and he throws them up in the air, and you hear the gulps. That's Bill Farmer doing the gulps. So Bill always says, "That's eggs." So that's why I said for your review, like, oh, Gaston would love,
he would
using it, the guy for
I need 6 eggs,
the eggs, But also, I'm a big fan of like queue attention to detail. So like when you go through a queue, there's a story with it. The Haunted Mansion, if you ever get a chance, for anyone who's listening and you love the Haunted Mansion, when you go through the queue in the outer portion of it, and you get right before you get to the merge point where there's a cast member kind of funneling everyone in, before you get inside, there's a kind of a marker on the wall, and it says, "Farewell, Mr. Freeze. Your voice will carry on with the breeze." Well, that's paying homage to the ghost host, Paul Freeze. Paul Freeze was in the TV show back in the day, Rocky and Bullwinkle. He was Boris Badenoff. For Disney, he was Professor Ludwig von Drake, and he was all these other characters and everything. But Paul Freeze was very, welcome, foolish mortals, to the Haunted Mansion. So that's paying an homage to that voice that'll never go away. It'll always be there. So
nice. Oh man. And that's the lightning round multi-pass. Yeah, the multi-pass version.
There you go.
All right, Ryan, why don't you take a second and tell everybody where they can find you online if they want to follow along?
Yeah, absolutely. Instagram is really great. It's at Ryan Wiley VO. Wiley is spelled Wiley. VO is actually for voiceover. As Doug and I were talking about, I've had the opportunity to be on the show to share some voiceover opportunities that I've been a part of, and some voiceover goals and dreams. And sharing my knowledge for voiceover. But on my Instagram is a really great way to keep in contact. I have the opportunity to uh, post voiceover stuff or anything related to Disney. I'm a huge Disney fan, of course. Even working there, I have the joy of uh, making people happy, creating happiness. That's what we do, and I never will forget of the moment of being a cast member. I've dreamed of being a cast member ever since I was a kid. So I love connecting with people. I love connecting with our guests whenever they get to come to Disney. I had a family actually recently um, that remembered me from a Halloween party. One of the lines was closed for something, but I knew Goofy's line was open. And so I walked them over. And fun fact, they were actually really just big Goofy fans and they wanted to see a character. Mom was going through a tough time in her life. And just that one active moment of getting them in there really made their day and turned it around. And I found out some other character opportunities that were open that night. And I got the opportunity to help them get in to see those characters. Well, they were at one of the other dining locations recently, and they remembered me. And of course, I'm trying to go through my Rolodex, thinking like, okay, who's this? Who? But then when they were connected with Goofy, or they were connected with how they, I helped them. I was the hero of their vacation. It's a really great feeling, and it's great when our guests get the opportunity to come back, and then now I'm a part of their story, their life. So I'm happy to be.
That's awesome.
Be there.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing with us today. It was a great show, lots of different things. If you want to go make some magic at Disney World, reach out to our friends at Touring and Cruises. Tell them Rope Drop Radio sent you, and they will hook you up with a magical package for Disney World, Disney Cruise Line, Disneyland Paris. All of them are magical. But Touring and Cruises, they'll take great care of you with their travel advisors. And so you want to follow more Rope Drop Radio, we are at Rope Drop Radio on all of the things. So we're out there. Find us, interact with us. We'd love to chat. Go check out the after show on Patreon to hear more of Ryan's journey through the Disney company. But for Ryan, I'm Doug, and we're all crossing our fingers for Derek that he'll be back next week. Thanks for listening to Rope Drop Radio.
Have a wonderful evening, folks.